Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic. And if the world feels a little less magical today, that may be because Disney Store 877, the Roseville Galleria store, is no more, along with 59 other Disney stores. They did make it all the way to the 23rd. Tuesday was their last day, and we did make it in there one last time to say our goodbyes. We got to see a lot of the regular crew, and I've got more pictures. And I noticed things that I never noticed before, like on the sides of all the stands, there were little sayings like "Pirates must stow their swords" and stuff about fairies and things that I had never, literally in probably the 10 years since that store opened, because that store did reopen after the Roseville Galleria fire, where the original store was, I don't know if it was destroyed by the fire itself, but they didn't bother reopening it. They just opened a whole new location. And I had never noticed these signs before. And I don't know if it's because there was always stuff in front of them, or just there was so much stuff to look at in the store that the eyes were drawn away from the signs, but they were there. And of course, by now, it's been almost a week since they closed. They may not be. I haven't gone by the mall to see if they had gutted the store yet or not. But, got to go one last time and say one last thank you and goodbye to the crew of Store 877. And, let them know that we will miss them. Apparently a lot of people did go in. A lot of the regulars had gone in during the last couple weeks and, said farewells. They showed me some pictures of them with some other regulars that I recognized and that I knew, and people who were line friends. And it's over now, and now the healing must begin. But we did go in that one last time on the last day during the last hour. And interestingly, the sale was only like to 60%. When I closed KB store, we got down to 99%. I mean, at the very end, we literally put everything in a trash bag and sold it for $10. So it was interesting that they only got down to 60, but again, we were being liquidated by a third-party liquidator, and they were just being shut down by the company, and that makes a world of difference there. Also, let's face it, they had better merchandise. But yeah, by the end there, that last hour, they had very little left. Some DVDs and Blu-rays, some children's t-shirts, but we did each pick out one last thing to purchase. So this isn't really a haul video because there's only 2 items in it. But there's one item that I picked and one item that my wife picked. And that's what we're going to look at today. I actually had a whole other video planned for today, but then we went in there on Tuesday. I thought, one more time. One more video about my local Disney store. So this was her choice. Originally it was $19.95. After all the discounts, we got it for $7.18. And it's one of those little jewelry things that they've had. They've had them in there for a while. We've looked at them. I think we've bought some as gifts, Christmas gifts last year. But yeah, she hadn't bought any for herself. But one of the cast members showed her this specifically. It's just a little castle pendant on a little chain. I believe my wife had told me that each of the cast members at the store had got one of these, and one of the cast members had actually engraved the number 877 on it for them. So they all went away with something, to remember the store by, which is nice. That's kind of sweet. But not much to say about it. It's just a little shiny necklace. What is it actually made out of? Does it say? And it's made in China. Yeah, I don't know what it's actually made out of. And you'd think it would say somewhere, but I don't see it. Maybe on the back? Can we pop this out of here? No, it doesn't want to come out, so we'll just leave it alone. Because it's my wife's, and I don't want to break it, since the store is no longer there to replace it. Yep, that was my wife's final item from Disney. And now let's take a look at mine. My item, and I'm surprised they actually had 2 of these left when we went in there, was one of those things kind of like the Groot toy, where I wanted it, but actually not like Groot, because I wanted it, but I didn't really want to get it because it's, as you can see, huge, and I don't know where I'm going to put it. But there was only 2 left, and honestly, I think when I got this one, there was another guy who was looking at them, who was picking through some leftover Frozen dress-up items, who was probably going to try to grab both of them that were left, but I snagged this one before he could put his hands on it. And yeah, it is the Pixar Toy Box Zurg playset. And now the reason I kind of wanted it was because of the Zurg figure. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the playset, but I haven't seen the Zurg figure sold separately. I don't think he was sold by himself ever. So yeah, let's take a look at these and check it out. Do ourselves a good old-fashioned unboxing. First I get the tape off. Oh, and this, oh, the tag's missing. Well, this apparently was in Canada is $63, so it's probably 40 or 50 here, and I paid for it $5.40. Maybe it was clearance priced at some point too, I don't know. But yeah, $5.40, which is frankly, even just for the Zurg figure, all of the things aside, just for the Zurg figure, that's a pretty good price. Oh, there's tape in the box too. Got bits of cardboard, bits and more bits. There's more. Everything out of the box. Let's put it together. This light up? This make noise? It does. But I don't know how to make it do it. Probably doesn't have any batteries in it. Oh well, we don't need them. Oh! There it goes, it lights up. Alright, so this should go in like this. And when I say should, I mean doesn't. There we go. That just really did not want to go together. Oh, quite a bit easier. Hopefully that's supposed to come off. Get Zurg out. Got accessories. Gotta have accessories. So Zurg gets his little pong ball shooter. Somehow put you on here, maybe. It looks kind of like these are meant to fit into the pegs on here, but they doesn't really seem to want to. So let's put them off to the side here. And then we have our little Zurg bot, who looks like he's basically just made to fall apart, which I guess makes sense. We'll put him up here. And then what are these? Okay, we have like a mounted gun, looks like. And there we go. And that gets its very own rocket. And I guess, since we've got these, we've got Zurg, we probably should do Buzz Lightyear as well. Let me grab him. Here's our Buzz. He is figure number 9 in the Pixar toy box. And as I said before when I showed him in the other Disney Store haul video, he's not the original one. He is the version that came out after Toy Story 4. So he's got a blasting gun. I think the original, you'd think I would have looked it up since I made a comment about it, but I didn't. The original, I believe, had an LGM with it. Oh my gosh, how many ties are on him? There we go. Ignore that noise. All right. He is a lot more like hard plasticky than I'm used to these toy box figures being. I wonder if they're all going to be that way from now on. Also, he doesn't really seem to want to put his hand at... Oh, that's cute. His wings actually collapse in. Yeah. That's a nice detail. But it seems like he doesn't really want to put his arms in enough to hold it. Oh, he can't anyways. That's a fist. There's no way to hold the weapon in there. Why did they make this a two-handed weapon? Is it... How... Is it meant to go like this? How is he meant to hold this? The box is literally no help. Well... I mean, in an ideal world, that should go over his hand, but we don't live in an ideal world. Oh, he's got a little pivot on his head too. That's nice. All right, let's give these things a normal look at that I give to figures. So he's articulate. He feels very like more brittle plastic than I'm used to these toy box figures feeling. Yeah, he doesn't feel as strong. But the sculpt isn't bad. Articulation. We've got some movement in the feet here, so you can kind of do some little actiony poses with them. As I've already seen, the jet wings come out. He doesn't really hold his weapon for beans. This arm doesn't even want to come in tight enough to do it. But he can hold a fist up like he's going to punch you, or just, fist in the air, yeah. Yeah, that weapon's rubbish. The missile doesn't come out, although it probably will snap off when your child tries to take it out. So that weapon's bunk. Let's get rid of the weapon. But the figure's not bad. He feels a little short compared to the other toy box figures. But maybe it's just because Zurg is absolutely huge. But yeah, he's not bad. Zurg himself also kind of feels like more brittle plastic than I'm used to from these figures. But he does look cool. I like his sculpt. I really do like his sculpt. I mean, it definitely makes me want this playset because of the sculpt. But is it... Oh, that's the thing. That's what sets that off. Okay. He does at least actually hold his gun. He stands up pretty well. This bit here doesn't seem to do much of anything. But I think it's probably relevant to the way he appeared in the first movie, or the second movie, technically. Articulation. I mean, I wouldn't expect a lot from him. He doesn't flex a lot. I actually like the articulation on the head there. He can pivot his head up and down a little bit. So that's actually more than I would have expected. Because I don't think other Zurg toys I've seen allow like any pivoting at all. And he's got his little gun, which... How do we fire it? I don't know how you're supposed to trigger it, though. But I mean, that definitely is spring-loaded. It's supposed to pop out. It's just a matter of figuring out where the trigger for it is. Oh, wait, here it is. That shoots with a fair bit of force, doesn't it? Yep, I like him. I think I kind of like him better than Buzz. He definitely, for the price that I paid for it, it does make the set worth it. And of course, the set itself, let's look at that. So we have some light up stuff here. I guess you can mount the figures, theoretically at least, on these pegs. Maybe. So you can make them like appear to fight. That could be fun. I'm guessing since there's only two pegs, that's probably meant to be where Zurg is supposed to sit. But still, it's cute. Doesn't do a whole lot. And then up here, see, back here we have a little crank handle, which I think brings the spikes out. Ooh, that's spring-loaded. I didn't realize that. It's also quite loud. That's pretty violent. So, like, if Buzz happened to be in the wrong spot, he would be launched right out of frame. And then the other little bit of action we have is actually up here on the top. Let's pivot back up. We have ourselves a little Zurg bot, which I'm guessing the point of him is supposed to be that you have Buzz shoot him and miss entirely, thereby completely ruining the effect. But that's okay, because even though that didn't work, this does. And drops him down. I kind of thought he would hit hard enough to trigger the lights, but I guess not. Maybe if Buzz fell. I mean, it would make sense. That's supposed to be a trap for Buzz. Did that happen in the movie? I want to say I'm getting a memory in my head now of that happening at the beginning of Toy Story 2, of when they're playing the video game. Spoilers for a 20-something-year-old movie. When it turns out that the whole thing with Buzz was a video game, that he like lands on that and it drops him down like that. Oh, it looks like you can also take this gun off of its little base here and mount it up on here instead. Yeah, so that's nice. So overall, I like Zurg. I love the Zurg figure. He's a good sculpt. Oh, there's actually twist at the waist for a reason that is ultimately probably fairly pointless. I mean, he looks about the same no matter what, so... But he theoretically should fit onto these pegs. And he does sort of. And then you can put Buzz over here on one of these. There's like 6 pegs on this side, so you have options over here. That's why I think that side is just for Zurg. And then you can make them fight. That light goes for a long time. It doesn't really do much of anything, does it? It makes a nice shadow, I suppose. Oh, guess Zurg lost. Yeah, it's a cute little set. Is it worth apparently $60? No, I don't. Definitely not. Definitely wouldn't spend $60. I have to assume that can't have been more than 30 originally. Yeah, not a whole lot to it. It's cute. It was very hard. This was very hard to put together, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. I mean, I'll keep Zurg and Buzz, obviously, but the playset, yeah, I don't know what to do with the playset because it's kind of big. It feels fairly sturdy, though. I mean, well, maybe sturdy is not the right word. It feels fairly... quality. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap apart easily. In fact, the bottom didn't want to go on at all. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice final item from my local Disney store, which is now no more. So yeah, that'll do it for this week. This is rubbish. This is kind of cool. He's kind of cool too, but he's not really part of this. We'll put him aside. Instead, we'll put my my wife's necklace back up here. And yep, that will do it for this week's Weekend Magic. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it all interesting or entertaining. And if you were a cast member at Story 877, thank you again for all the memories. We will miss you. And I wish you all the best and all the magic in the future. That pops up! That pops up! I didn't know that. Still doesn't seem like it should make noise though. Oh well, thank you for watching.